Hello, you metal pilgrims, and welcome to the new episode of our interview series. Our today's guest is Emilio Crespo, the frontman and the co-founder of the atmospheric black metal band Sojourner. Emilia and I will be speaking about Sojourner's new lineup, the band's future, the new EP, and much, much more. Yet before we start, I'd like to take a moment and invite you to join the conversation and subscribe to Metal Pilgrim channel on YouTube and join our communities on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever you hang out at to be able to submit your questions for all future interview guests. Stay tuned with all the updates and be among the very first ones to find out what is inside the upcoming rock and metal releases. Next week on the channel, we are welcoming Halloween. So buckle up and enjoy it. Here you go. Hey, Amelia, how's it going, man?
All good. Yourself?
Oh, all is well, thank you. I'm finally fully vaccinated, so I can go places and stuff, so can't complain anymore.
Lucky you. Still waiting.
Really? Where are you at the moment?
In Sweden. So for like healthy people and be under 60 something and over 18, we gotta wait till June, I think, but we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I actually had to fly to Miami to do that. I was there on a business trip, but
Okay.
It's super simple there. You just come into the CVS or whatever, and they give you a shot. It's super simple.
Nice.
All right, man. But how are you guys coping with everything? Do you guys see the light at the end of the tunnel over there in Sweden already?
Well, I mean, we've kind of always had the light because Sweden never really went into lockdown or anything. Life has pretty much continued as normal here, pretty much.
Okay, so not too much of a difference for you.
Not really.
All right, man. Now that we got the obvious then out of the way, let's talk about music. You guys are about to drop a new EP, Perennial, on June 4th. Congrats on that one. And on this one, you're going back to this theme of nature and wilderness. So can you just talk a little bit about the creative process behind it and, what's the idea that lies behind the music?
So pretty much, not that we copy pasted empires or anything, but we did want to dig into our roots a little bit more. And I mean, Sojourner is always going to be an evolving machine. We're never going to be the band that puts out the same album 3 times or anything like that. So while incorporating some of our old aspects, if you want to call it that, but still, of course, moving forward and thinking about, where we've arrived at, So it's basically a combination of the first 3 albums, but still looking towards the future. It was kind of a statement that we wanted to make because with the lineup change and everything, there was some worried people and everything. And not that we make music for other people. First and foremost, it's for us. Everything else is just kind of a bonus. But of course, we did want to kind of prove like we're not stopping. We're still here, and here's this little mini EP. Yeah.
So, and you said, funny that you mentioned that, of course you would, but this is the first time, we could hear Lucia on a record now, right? And can you say that this EP was kind of a warm-up to see how you guys would sound together and see if you can actually fit on a record?
No, not really, because once we heard Lucy's audition, we knew that she was, that missing piece of the puzzle, like that final one. And and the thing is, they've already been in the band for like 9 months at this point, so they were really anxiously waiting to be announced and all that. So we've already built up like a great friendship and all that, and we're all just one really cool unit now. So it wasn't really like a trial or anything. It was just that we didn't want to put up the typical boring Facebook post. Oh, here's our new members. And then you got to wait like a year or two to actually hear something. So we wanted to really, especially now since live shows aren't happening, we wanted to offer new music with it alongside the announcements of them. So just make this like a huge, like special thing.
Nice. And speaking of live shows not happening, while, your fans definitely wanted to hear how you guys, 2 of you, would sound together. Especially, did you guys consider anything of a live stream event of some sort or something like that?
No, mainly because for Sojourner, that's impossible. I mean, we're already an international band, and it's like, exactly. And not to mention, flying right now is already kind of complicated. You know, you got to go through a bunch of little, bunch of hoops and all that kind of stuff. So even if we could get together, we'd still have to have, the budget to get it all together and everything. And it's just not something that's feasible for us. So a live stream show with us won't happen. If anything, you might get like a playthrough, and we just like put the footage together and slap the song over it. But that's about it.
Speaking about playthroughs, though, and videos that you guys release, you've already dropped one of them, at least for Perennial, and I gotta say that it is just so amazingly captivating. I had to rewatch it like several times. This is my new, believe it or not, but relaxing video, because the video shot of the nature fits just extremely well with the music. So who shot it, man, and whose idea was it just to have those landscape?
Well, I wish I knew who shot it, because the thing is, as I said, we can't fly together to shoot a music video. And even if we could, again, we didn't have the budget. This was just like a small little project that we had with the label to put out, to present the new members. So actually, it's all like free from copyright stock footage kind of thing. So just public domain, free for all. But we meticulously went through hours and hours and hours of like clips and all that stuff, really trying to find the perfect ones that would, like you said, set the mood for the song in that moment. The landscapes, of course, had to be, precise ones that we were looking for, kind of a rotation through the seasons and everything. So it was something that took a bit of work. But no, unfortunately, we didn't shoot it ourselves. That would have been quite the fucking hike.
That is actually really great that you say that, because by watching it, I assumed that someone, after listening to this music, went out with a drone or whatever it was and shot it specially for you, because it just fits so well, man. I think you guys did a great job on this one then, especially if it was public domain. Now I respect it even more, man. So I really
yeah, of course. No, we would never violate copyright issues or anything like that. That's just being a dick. No, yeah, we definitely wanted to make sure that something that obviously, like I said, with lack of budget, something that we could really pull off. But the thing is, we don't like to release half-assed things either. We really like to make things special. So, and luckily we found these clips that we were able to use.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. And as you guys tapped into this slightly older vibe of the band, right? And it has been, so far at least, received extremely well by the old fans and attracted, I can say, a bunch of new ones, because that's what I at least saw on my page. So can you say that this is what we can expect, kind of the band, which this is the direction in which we expect the band to move on the next full-length album?
Potentially. I mean, it's kind of hard to say because, like I said, we're always an evolving band. So really, until we actually start writing, I don't know exactly what it's going to sound like. I mean, of course, we do hope to still keep going a bit with those like first two album roots or whatever, but always mixing with the ever evolving Sojourner sound. The way I like to just put it is, on every album, you're always going to have the core Sojourner sound, which is, lots of atmosphere, the tin whistle and soaring guitars and all this kind of stuff. But we'll always have different elements put in there, And on the first album, for example, there was next to no doom. But then suddenly on Shattered Road and Premonitions, we had quite a bit of doom, mellow death, even hints of power metal sometimes. We got all kinds of things. So will it sound more like the next album? Will it sound more like Perennial than Premonitions, for example? I think it's safe to say yes, but again, we'll have to see.
But as I understand from your answer, you haven't started writing new full-length record yet.
Right now, there's ideas brewing. Mike is always constantly writing and stuff, but I mean, from what actually ends up on the record, there might be a huge folder of just trash that he threw away. It always comes down to that. Yeah, so we are actively always writing, but we haven't gone into the actual process yet. So yeah.
Makes sense. And while you're speaking about always actively writing, can you share your formula for success? How do you guys divide responsibilities when it comes to writing new music? Who is in charge of what?
Well, I mean, the core of the band since we started it has always been Mike and I. We founded the band, and we've always been the two, behind the scenes on a business level, on what have you. It's always me and Mike. So Mike is pretty much the guy in charge of the music aspect, and then I'm in charge of vocals and lyrics. But Mike also does, the recording, engineering, producing, and all this stuff. The guy really puts in the hours. So even, before our previous member left, Mike has always been the guy. So it's actually a very simple arrangement, because I trust Mike with what he does, and he trusts me with what I do. So I can't really recall too many times where I've been like, I don't like that, change that, or he's said that to me. It's always kind of been like, dude, yeah, So
Nice.
it's a really awesome dynamic that him and I have. I mean, we're a great team.
This is awesome. And where do you guys usually look for inspiration when it comes to writing new music? Any particular bands?
To be honest, I mean, sure, when you're starting out as a musician, you always have like this list of 10, 15 bands that they're you listen to their records and get inspiration. But I think as time goes by, when you start releasing stuff, you actually get away from listening to other bands and instead find your inspiration elsewhere. Otherwise, you run into the possibility of just becoming a carbon copy of somebody else. So nowadays, me, for example, when I'm writing lyrics or thinking about vocals, I don't listen to any metal. I put on piano and synth music, violin, whatever, or I'm just taking a walk in the woods, or I'm watching a movie and I saw a really cool scene that suddenly built this big idea in my head. I don't know, but it can actually come from anything.
This is pretty awesome, man. And while you guys are obviously not able to go, on tour right now, but any plans to support the 2020 release, by the way, and the new EP with a tour sometime soon?
Well, we should hope so, of course. I mean, we now switched agency to Napalm Events, our label's in-house agency, and now, because before we only had like an agency for Europe, but now it's worldwide. So hopefully we get to be on stages outside of Europe as well soon enough. But right now we do have 2 shows booked for, I think it's 1 or 2, for Spain next year, and then 2 more in Germany in May and June next year. But further than that, we're still looking into possibilities with Napalm Events and everything. And we're actively working to see if hopefully we can get out on the road next year, like on a proper tour, but we have to see still.
Yeah, I think we all have to pray at this point that that all of this madness is going to be over, and you and all the other bands will be able to hit the road once again. Because listening to music digitally is fun, but it's not the same as enjoying it in a sweaty club or in a festival, right?
Exactly. Like I gotta say, like, I'm not trying to bash anybody here because I really respect what many bands are doing, with the live stream shows and stuff, but I haven't been able to actually get a ticket myself to watch one of these because it's not the same. It's just I can't vibe with it. And even before the pandemic, I've never been like a live DVD or live CD collector. It's never. I like to experience it in person, So yeah, I'm really wanting to get back to moshing and just fucking being in the middle of 400 sweaty people and just living it.
100%, man, and I think that all of the metalhead community around the globe at this point is extremely looking forward to it. And it seems like there is some light at the end of the tunnel, because the US festivals are getting booked, and it looks like in September there will be the first one in the United States, a massive one. So hopefully those will start happening. Actually, one of the most frequent and upvoted requests when I announced that I'll be, featuring you on a show soon was for you to come to the United States. Just FYI. So whenever you guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's of course something that's on the cards for us. Hopefully sooner than later, but it always has to be worth it. You can't really lose your mind on a financial level just to make something happen. So gotta have the demand.
100%, man. But it does look like the demand is growing and the demand is there. So let's just hope that that all of this madness again will be over and you will be able to do that. And speaking about the pandemic, and I'm sorry that I'm moving away from the theme of only your music, but I'm very interested to find that out. What do you personally think will happen to the music industry and that of metal in particular after this COVID situation? Will we be able to get back to normal, or there will be a new reality where to which we all have to adapt to?
I mean, yeah, I do think it'll go back to normal in the sense that people will be dying to go to shows. There's going to be a huge boom of like people are going to go to anything they can get their fucking hands on for the first 6 months to a year. Like back then, even me, like I live in Malmö in Sweden, and I got Copenhagen just across the bridge. So I got two cities where I can pick and choose my shows. So back then I used to be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to see Moonspell this time because I'll see them in like 2 weeks when they go to Copenhagen. You know, you can pick and choose, but nowadays it's kind of like, give me whatever I can get, you know?
Yeah. I'm ready to
So
out somewhere, and I used to do that before, right?
exactly. So I definitely think that the metal industry will, of course, survive. I mean, we've been around for what, 50 years now, 50 something. I mean, I would actually say we're probably one of the longest running genres, like
That is
ever.
true. Yeah.
So I don't think we're going anywhere whatsoever. But are there new things that we need to adapt to? Well, I'm sure. You know, we got a lot of anti-vaxxers and stuff out there, which kind of slow the process a little bit, and you know, and they're gonna want to still go to shows and all that, but obviously there's gonna be more restrictions on them, I guess. I know because I work in Denmark, so I know that once you get vaccinated, you got like this Corona pass, they call it. It's like this little thing on the phone that shows that, you know, it's basically like your pass to go anywhere you want.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. I think once everything is over and, you know, quite a few of us or most of us get vaccinated and stuff, it'll be easier. But I think at least for the next couple years, things will still be in place a little bit.
Yeah, makes sense, man. And while you started speaking about, this, and we both did actually, about this metal community and how it is such an actual community, right? And their interests are slightly different sometimes than that of, other musical genres. And this EP of yours is going to be released on vinyl, right? And why do you think it is so that so many metalheads, especially and rockers around the world, are still collecting vinyls and are still going crazy about them? I'm a huge vinyl collector myself. I don't know if you can see, there's a Judas Priest Firepower vinyl in the back,
Yeah.
and so like I'm collecting everything I like, and I support the bands in such way. But why do you think there's so many people who still are still do that? Because everything is available online now.
Well, there's actually many reasons, probably 4 or 5 off the top of my head. One is people who are old enough, they want to recapture that vibe from the 80s and early 90s. Second, younger people who want to live that for the first time.
That's true.
Third, I mean, like you said, the metal community is extremely supportive. You know, they want their bands to thrive and stuff. So people buy so that, in the hopes that bands get more cash flow in, which allows them to tour more, allows them to, make more merch, do more appearances. I like all kinds of stuff because, I mean, obviously money makes the world go round. Can't do anything with zeros in your bank account. So, and then of course the other one is, and that's mainly my reason as well, aside from supporting bands, is just because I don't feel like I own an album unless I have it physically.
This is mine.
Yeah, I don't like. I need the fucking artwork in front of me. I want to read the lyrics and the booklet and stuff while I'm listening. I want to read the liner notes, the thank yous. I want all that shit. And if I just put it on Spotify, obviously I got Spotify for practical reasons when I'm going to work or whatever. But otherwise, I mean, come on, dude. You can't be like, oh, hey, this shit released on Spotify. I got the album. No, the fuck you don't.
And 100%, that excitement of holding that physical piece of music is incredible, and it's incomparable to anything, I think. So 100% with you on this one, man. Amelia, thanks, man. I don't want to keep you here for too long, so just a couple of more questions, if you don't mind.
Of course, no worries. Go ahead.
That's it. All right, man. Number one, this is a fun one, which we usually do closer to the end of the episode, and I'd love to hear it from you because you just said that you don't listen to metal while writing new music. What is your one guilty pleasure when it comes to music? What do you blast when no one is listening, and if you're drunk or something, when it's not metal?
To be honest, this one's actually an easy one for me. I don't have guilty pleasures. what I like, and if like, and I'm not like, I don't really flaunt anything, but if somebody were to ask me, then cool. If we're talking music overall, let's say something that doesn't fit in with metal, I mean, I still love old school like rap from the 80s and 90s. I mean, Tupac, for example, I adore his albums. Then when it comes to metal, a band that people really fucking hates, but I'm sorry, I enjoy Baby Metal. I do.
Really?
And and I'm not ashamed whatsoever. It's just it clicks with me. So if something clicks in my mind, the thing is as well is that lately these past 4 years or so, and I don't know if that is also because being a musician, you're always in the studio or recording or whatever, and you're listening to your music over and over and over, but you kind of lose a little bit of touch with every single new release that comes out because you just don't have the time for it anymore. And then a lot of the stuff that does come out just seems very samey to me. So the past few years, I've really been gravitating towards really way out of my comfort zone. 4 years ago, you tell me Baby Metal, I'd probably smack you upside the head and tell you shut the fuck up. But the past few years, I'm really looking just for something different, and I'm a big fan of Amaranth as well. Same 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been like, yeah, nah, dude, too poppy for me. But I'm just looking for new stuff.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff just bores me nowadays, so I need something refreshing. I don't know.
All right, bro, that's great stuff. And the last one for today. Can you tell us one craziest touring story from your touring life? Just one night when everything got messed up or something went absolutely wrong that you remember and can legally hopefully share with us.
Oof, let me think here. I mean, I think I'm going to disappoint you on this one. There's not really anything that comes to mind because actually all of our shows and touring has gone smoothly. I mean, our very first show, North of the Wall, in Glasgow was, I mean, it's not like it's a funny story. It just really sucks that what happened. But Mike, he got his string caught under his bridge, which actually broke a piece off. So he couldn't stay in tune for more than 5 seconds or 10. So 6 songs out of the show, he was, out of tune and fighting the whole time trying to get shit ready. And I was also sick as a dog, but somehow I couldn't actually speak, but somehow I could scream like a banshee. So I don't know how that translated. So North of the Wall, we really wanted to showcase this is our first show. We want to blow your minds. And then we just got off stage and we're like, this was fucking garbage. Our first show, everybody seemed to like it and gave us good reviews anyways. But yeah, I mean, that's the only one. The thing is, our touring has been pretty smooth, the tour with Draconian Harakiri, just good fun every night with the guys and gals and stuff. And yeah, it hasn't really been anything crazy yet. Maybe ask me in a couple years, and then I'll probably have some more stories for you.
Maybe you should come to Kiev, Ukraine, a little bit more often. We'll show you some crazy times here.
I would love to, and I hope that's on the docket soon. I'd love to actually share the stage with 1914.
Oh, really? Yeah. They're working on the album as well. So.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Amelia, thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it. Any last message for the fans, both old and new?
Thank you all for the support. I mean, it's cliche to say, but a band can put in all the work and all the effort they want, but at the end of the day, it's for it's people like you guys, the fans and media and all that kind of stuff that gives us the time of day, which allows us to grow. Other than that, it'd just be a bunch of people putting out records on Bandcamp with nothing, so it really us getting here is really thanks to all of you guys, and we appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts because it's awesome and we're living a dream right now.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, man. Just as a reminder, Perennial is out on June 4th, so you make sure to check it out. The video is already out and it's stunning, and I personally loved it, as you could tell from my, the praising of it. Emilio, thank you so much for your time, man. Keep rocking.
Thank you, dude. Cheers.